violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, cyberspace? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Now to a murder mystery in Queens, where police discovered 3 bodies inside a house in South Jamaica. But as CBS 2's Jessica Moore reports, we're learning 2 of the people may have been unintended victims.
A flurry of police activity outside this home on 155th Street Friday night after a 911 call about an unconscious woman inside.
And guys, remember, we covered this story in June. I wanted to give you guys an update because there have been some new details on the killer. We did not know who had done this before, but it looks like the super gremlin was found in Maine, if I'm not mistaken. And now he is facing trial, and very disturbing details coming out in this trial.
Police came. First of all, they find 1 dead body. Then, like another 30 minutes later, when they search whole the house, then they find another 2 bodies in the basement.
Police found 22-year-old Vashawnna Malcolm in an upstairs bedroom, bound with an electrical cord and duct tape, with stab wounds to her chest and neck. In the basement, police found Malcolm's aunt, Karlene Barnett, and her cousin, Devon Brightly, both with multiple stab wounds. Police say all the victims had been dead for about 72 hours by the time they were discovered.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't imagine something like that happening to that family. It's a sad situation. Very, very sad. People gotta lose their life like that for nothing.
This case has stumped police from the very beginning. Originally, they thought it was a murder-suicide, but quickly ruled that out. And then over the weekend, they took a man into custody for questioning, thinking they had found their suspect, but quickly determined that he had nothing to do with the 3 murders.
Stunned neighbors now say they're terrified and heartbroken.
Very uncomfortable. I'm moving out. I'm actually moving out.
They're good people. That's a good family. I don't know what went wrong.
Police are working a theory that Vashawnna Malcolm was the intended target, possibly murdered by a former boyfriend, and that her aunt and cousin were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wow, so he was able to take all 3 of them out. This is crazy.
In South Jamaica, Queens, Jessica Moore, CBS 2 News.
And police are also looking into potential ties to the victim's family in Jamaica. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stopper.
We have an update tonight on what has been a week-long triple murder mystery in Queens.
3 people were found dead in a home last Friday. 2 of them suffered severe trauma and 1 was stabbed. Police are now looking for the man they say is the suspect, Travis Blake.
Tonight, the sister of one of the victims speaking to Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lands.
Balloons dangle outside of an empty home turned into a shrine after 3 people were brutally murdered inside.
We don't know when they were murdered. They were in the house days before they were discovered.
Natasha is the older sister of 36-year-old Dervon Brightly. Brightly was a security guard in Times Square. His mother was 55-year-old Karlene Barnett, and her goddaughter, 22-year-old Vashawnna Malcolm, was a nursing student visiting for the summer. She arrived 10 days ago from Jamaica.
She came here on a plane.
10 days in the city, and just like that, these super gremlins are on demon time.
She actually sat up and took a plane ride from Jamaica, and now she has to go back home in a box to her mom.
Natasha says Karlene Barnett's younger son went to the house at 116-11 on 155th Street on Friday to check on them after 2 days of not hearing from them. He found Malcolm first. On the 2nd floor, police say she was bound and lying on a bed with trauma to her body. He called police, and when they arrived, they found Barnett stabbed to death and Bartley with severe head trauma in the basement. Neighbors are still in shock.
Very sorry, I didn't expect this.
Police are now searching for this man, 29-year-old Travis Blake. Detectives say he was living at the home and may be connected.
Wow, so this man, they gave him shelter. They was probably feeding him every day. For him to turn around and do this, These super gremlins are ungrateful.
Natasha says her brother's mother, Karlene Barnett, had an intimate relationship with the suspect, and when she cut it off, he allegedly snapped, killing Barnett, her goddaughter, and Natasha's brother.
He actually preyed on an innocent family that he knew could not defend themselves.
And like I said, what is up with these sisters dating these charity cases? It's absolutely ridiculous. There are plenty of men out here who you can deal with who are not going to butcher you. I know it's slim pickings, but damn, just do a little research into this dude's background. I'm sure he's got an extensive rap sheet, and she put her whole family at risk.
Against him, okay? And we just want answers.
Natasha has this message for the killer.
I would tell him to turn himself in.
The family says that detectives told them that the suspect has ties to both Florida and Atlanta and could be there. They also believe that he could be right here in New York.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
In the city tonight, we're getting our first look at the man now wanted in connection to a triple murder in Queens. News 4's Adam Harding live near the crime scene in South Jamaica with the suspects linked to the home where police found 3 people dead. Adam.
And David, good evening to you. This one certainly has left this Queens neighborhood rattled now for nearly a week as they wait for answers behind us. Police late tonight revealing new information. They say they know who they're looking for. They just don't know where he is. Behind us, you can still see outside of where the victims and tonight the person police are looking for all lived under one roof. Candles are still burning while a motive in this grisly crime remains unknown.
Tonight, a potential break in a grisly triple homicide. This is the man investigators now say they're searching for, 29-year-old Travis Blake, wanted in connection to last Friday's crime scene at a home in Jamaica, Queens. Police say officers found 22-year-old Vashawnna Malcolm lying unresponsive on a second-floor bed here, her hands bound. She had 2 stab wounds to her chest. Her mouth was taped shut.
Wow.
Officers on scene soon discovered 2 other bodies behind a locked door leading to the basement. There, they say they found 55-year-old Karlene Barnett suffering from multiple stab wounds and 36-year-old Dervon Brightly, who had severe head trauma.
Wow.
Police say the victims and Travis Blake all lived in the home along 155th Street. A motive has not yet been revealed.
And when we got to the home late tonight, we did see a number of people outside of the home as those candles were burning. We did attempt to speak with some of them, though they did not wish to offer any comment at this point. As for the man that police are searching for, this Travis Blake is said to be 280 pounds, and investigators say he was last seen leaving the home behind.
Dang, I mean, that's a big boy at 280. He's almost 300 pounds. He overpowered 3 people, 2 women, 1 man. Like, it's crazy.
This year headed northbound. If you know anywhere about his whereabouts, anything about his whereabouts, investigators want to hear from you immediately. We're live tonight in Jamaica, Queens. I'm Adam Harding, News 4, New York.
All right, guys. So I just want to read the rest of this article to give you guys the remaining details on this case. Just to sum it up for you, the 29-year-old fugitive nabbed in Maine in connection with triple homicide of 3 family members in Queens over the summer. A brutal case that involved bound hands, bloody tools, and puncture wounds has been indicted on first-degree murder charges in the case, the district attorney's office announced Tuesday. Travis Blake of Queens was on the run for a week after allegedly stabbing his girlfriend, her adult son, and niece inside the girlfriend's Jamaica home in late June. He was extradited to New York City on Friday and arraigned in Queens Supreme Court a day ago on a 6-count grand jury indictment, charging him with first-degree murder, 3 counts of second-degree murder, and 2 counts of fourth-degree murder or fourth-degree criminal possession of a weapon, prosecutors said. According to the indictment, cops responding to a 911 call at the 155th Street home on Karlene Barnett found that the 55-year-old woman dead, along with 36-year-old son Devon Brightly and 22-year-old niece Vashawnna Malcolm. They had been dead for about 2 days, which the news said 72 hours, so that's 3 days. But by the time they were found, court documents said, surveillance cameras covering the entry points of Barnett's home allegedly showed Blake in the backyard after 2:50 on June 22nd, apparently bleeding from a hand injury and using a hammer to drive a nail into a beam of wood, according to prosecutors. He is seen going into the house, which Brightly was seen walking into about a half hour earlier. Hours later, around 7:30, Barnett walked into her home. She never came out alive. It wasn't for 2 more days on June 24th that prosecutors say another person who lives at the home noticed a bad smell coming from the niece's bedroom. That person opened her door and found her body. The person called 911 and cops responded. They walked into a total horror scene. The niece was dead in her bedroom, undressed from the waist down. Wow. So it sounds like he did some unspeakable things. She was bound with duct tape and had several apparent puncture wounds to her chest behind a locked basement door. Cops followed a trail of blood to another bedroom where they found Barnett with apparent traumatic head injuries and several puncture wounds as well. Brightly was also found dead in the basement with injuries similar to those endured by Barnett. Prosecutors say cops recovered a bloody hammer, screwdriver, and wood beam with an embedded nail in it at the scene. They also found blood-stained bottles of household cleaner, a bloody bucket, and a mop, court papers say, as well as Blake's cell phone, passport, and valuables. As alleged, this defendant carried out a horrific triple murder and then fled the state, leaving a devastated family and mourning community in his wake. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz said in a statement announcing the indictment Tuesday, "Such brutal disregard for human life will not go unanswered. Despite being on the run immediately following the murder, the defendant is now in custody and faces justice in our courts." Authorities have not speculated on a possible motive for the killings. Blake, who was captured in Bar Harbor, Maine on June 30th, is due back in court next month. He faces up to life in prison if convicted of those charges.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.